So I have a question for you about my
All right,
practice.
let's hear it.
I've been observing thoughts in different kinds of ways, and I want to get your comments, if any, on the different ways that I'm doing it. So, um, for a long time, when I was watching thoughts, um, I just realized that I wasn't really watching the thoughts. What I was doing was each time a thought arose, it 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 just came and went so quickly. And then I did something to explore and remember and verbalize the thought. So when it first arises, it's almost like a sensation and a blip, but then I can go back and say, oh, that thought was, I shouldn't be doing this. I should be doing my taxes.
Mm,
And
that's okay. That's okay, by the way.
that's what I was asking.
Hmm.
If I don't do that, then it comes and goes so quickly that it's easy for another thought to come right after it and
Yeah.
for a train of thought to happen.
Yes. Yeah. So what I would suggest is just keep doing that and try to catch it as early as possible. Of course, as you notice it sort of shifting into a certain thought or a certain thought form or a certain story. And then you can do what you just described. That's totally fine. The thing I would add to it is see if you can't see if you can't find there's two ways to approach this. One would be to see if you can't find the seamless nature of the what you're taking yourself to be as that conscious experience and the thought arising, like noticing that it doesn't arise somewhere else. It doesn't arise like out there somewhere. It's actually seamless with you as you experience yourself before there's any identity with thought. So this is like really it's almost like halfway between a sensation and a thought. If I maybe that's just a one way of saying it. So that's one way of approaching it. Another way of approaching the same thing is a little bit, it seems like the opposite, but it's more like as a thought arises, explore where the boundary is. Don't assume there is one, but just explore to see if you can find a boundary between the sense of I, the most fundamental sense of I, and the thought itself. See if you can follow it out, so to speak. And um, I'm going to mute somebody. Follow it out, so to speak, from the sense of I to whatever that thought substance is, right? There's got to be some substance to it to know that there's a thought, right? You would think there has to be some story. You would think there would be some object of thought. So really look and see, is there actually a thought object appearing to consciousness or to an I or to awareness? Or is the awareness and I and the thought completely seamless with one another? But do that experientially by like sort of trying to find a boundary as you, and you can do this sort of um, very intentionally, like I'm describing, almost analytically, but you can also do it just through the actual physical experience of I, or the experience of being, or the experience of you as you take yourself to be, and the thought that you've suddenly recognized. See if that thought like arises somewhere else or as an object to the sense of I. That's what I would recommend.
Okay. I mean, I would say it doesn't seem to me that it arises somewhere else. It feels like uh, it feels like it's part of what I take myself to be. Uh,
Hmm.
when I do the second part, which is verbalize it, that seems like it's out there somewhere.
It
But
can a little bit at first, yeah, but it's a weird thing because when we're identified with thought, it's almost like we don't realize we're thinking. So sometimes you actually have to sort of make an object of thought to recognize a thought as such for a little while. And then the next step, as I write in my book, is like coming into contact with thought or moving toward thought. Another way of
mhm.
doing that is moving toward the I sense. So when you say it does feel like it's here right now, were you, when you said that, were you reflecting about through a memory or were you watching it happen in real time? That's what I want you
um,
to do.
I wasn't doing it in real time.
Good.
Can I?
That's what exactly. So knowing that difference is critical, right? So to do it in real time, what I'm asking is like, I think most people would say a thought feels like it's here somewhere, like it's mine. But I want you to look precisely this sort of most simple, obvious, maybe even I could say the center of the sense of you is that thought. Does that thought seem like it's even slightly away from that at all? And if it is there a
Mm-hmm.
boundary? I want you to like look, don't conclude,
Mm-hmm.
explore it directly and just let
Okay.
that happen. Yeah, just let that happen. And it can become, it might feel really incisive at first or like you're trying to force your attention into some space, but it can become actually, you approach it from a very relaxed place after a while, like a rather enjoyable place. Remember, you're looking, but you don't need to try to find something. Looking without
Mm-hmm.
trying to find.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like being interested in awakening without trying to force yourself to wake up. They're different things. Okay.
Okay.
Try that out. Tell me how it goes.
Okay. Thanks, Angelo.
You're welcome. It's nice meeting you.
Yeah, we met before when you were visiting Liberation Unleashed Zoom call. I think that was
Ah,
several
okay.
months ago. But
Gotcha.
nice,
Okay.
nice to meet you again.
Nice to meet you again. Yeah. Maybe I didn't know your name then, or maybe I did and forgot.
Well, you must meet thousands of people, so
Yeah, I do. Yep. All right. If anyone else has any questions, I just opened it up early just for fun. So if anyone else has questions, feel free to really at this point, you could probably just speak up or put your hand up. Um, and I am recording, so I'll make some announcements at the hour, the time I was supposed to start. But short of that, we can just kind of hang out.
Angelo, I just want to say thank you for everything you do.
You're so welcome. Where are you calling from?
Virginia.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. How's the weather in Virginia today?
Oh, gloomy, very
Oh,
gloomy.
okay.
It's been raining. I've
Mm.
been I've been following your message, and then I thought I was a member, actually, but I wasn't the right member, I guess.
Ah,
So I finally got in, and I really appreciate what you do.
I'm glad you figured it out. Yeah. So if anyone's listening, this will be recorded, obviously, so someone might listen on a recording. But if you're having problems with membership for YouTube, you can always email, of course. But the challenge for me is I don't have access to the back end of it at all. Only YouTube does, and Google essentially, which is YouTube. But um, the simple answer usually is if you if you can't figure out why you're not getting notifications, always check the community tab on my main channel page. And that is any video you see, it'll say Simply Always Awake. Click on the Simply Always Awake under the video. That'll bring you to my main page. On my main page, there's tabs across. They say like videos, live, etc. Click on the tab that says um, community. And if you are a sustaining member or above, then you will see announcements for the lives. The lives are twice a month or more, but usually twice a month. One is Double Barrel, which is this. One is YouTube Live, where I go online on the YouTube channel itself. And I can only answer questions through the text chat on that type of live. But you should see those in the community tab. If you don't, just check to make sure you are a sustaining member. And the other question I get a lot is, how do I change my membership? How do I cancel my membership? Um, I usually just Google it. Actually, how do I cancel my membership for a YouTube channel? And it'll give you the instructions. It's pretty straightforward. But sometimes, occasionally, people will not be able to see the little button you need to push or whatever. And I think what happens is YouTube has different program constructs for like all the different um, platforms. So like iPhone, Android will look different from each other, and those look different than a PC, and maybe even different than a like a desktop or laptop Mac. So if you can't figure it out on one platform, you're not finding the button to either join or change your membership, then just try a different platform to see if you can find it. And then short of all of those things, or I'm sorry, beyond all of those things, I really can't help because like I don't have access to your account on Google or anything or YouTube. So you can contact YouTube if you have problems like this and just let them know. But essentially it's that sustaining members, $10 a month level, then you'll have access to lives. And yeah, that's it. Anyone else have questions or comments that before we start, before we get full? which we will in a few minutes.